Next, he might find him skydiving or motorcycling. Please welcome Rodney Alcala. Rod, welcome.
The year is 1978. Millions of Americans are watching The Dating Game, laughing and cheering as a charming bachelor named Rodney Alcala wins the show. What no one knows is that this smooth-talking photographer is also a cold-blooded killer. Rodney Alcala was born into a turbulent home. His dad left when he was young, leaving his mom to raise him and his sisters alone. This early abandonment really messed with Rodney, making him feel lost and angry. Growing up without a father in a difficult home shaped him into someone who was aggressive and didn't care much about others' feelings. When he turned 17, Rodney joined the U.S. Army. He worked as a clerk, but didn't last long. After 7 years, he had a big breakdown. Army doctors looked into it and found out he had something called antisocial personality disorder. This means he didn't feel empathy like most people do, which made him dangerous. Because of this, they let him go from the military in 1964. That was the start of his dark journey into crime. After leaving the military, Rodney Alcala moved to Los Angeles and enrolled at UCLA's School of Fine Arts. He thought he was a genius because his IQ was around 160. He was also very full of himself, believing he was better than everyone else. In 1968, something terrible happened. Alcala was driving when he saw 8-year-old Tali Shapiro walking alone. He tricked her into his car, pretending to be a friend of her family. But a passerby saw this and followed Alcala to his apartment. They called the police just in time. When the police got there, they found Tali hurt in a pool of her own blood but still alive. Alcala had assaulted her and tried to kill her with a heavy steel bar, but didn't finish the job before the cops arrived. Tali was saved, but Alcala escaped through the back door before they could catch him. His UCLA student ID left behind helped the police know who he was, but he was already gone. After escaping from the police in LA, Rodney Alcala ran to New York to start over. He changed his name to John Berger and got into New York University's film school. There, he even crossed paths with famous director Roman Polanski. To everyone around him, Alcala seemed like just another student with big dreams, hiding his dark side well. With his new identity, Alcala managed to stay ahead of the law for years. He was always one step ahead, blending into society while his past crimes lingered in the shadows. His charm and good looks helped him trick people into thinking he was just a harmless, ambitious guy. The Dating Game appearance. In 1978, Rodney Alcala, under his alias, appeared on the TV show The Dating Game. He was charming and witty, winning over the Bachelorette, Cheryl Bradshaw. But backstage, Cheryl felt something was off about him. She described him as creepy and decided not to go on the date with him, possibly sensing the danger he posed. This appearance on national TV was ironic, because while everyone saw him as a potential romantic partner, he was secretly living a double life as a killer. His time on the show didn't stop his criminal activities. In fact, he continued to prey on unsuspecting victims, using his public persona to gain trust and access. His TV fame might have even helped him in luring more people into his dark web of deceit and violence. Rodney Alcala's luck ran out in 1971, when 2 girls at a children's art camp recognized him from wanted posters while he was working there as a counselor. He was arrested and brought back to Los Angeles. During the trial, things didn't go as expected. The Shapiro family, whose daughter Tali was Alcala's first known victim, refused to testify because they had moved to Mexico for safety. Without key witnesses, the prosecutors couldn't charge him with rape and attempted murder. Instead, Alcala took a plea deal for the lesser charge of child molestation. He got sentenced to 1 to life, but was out on parole after just over 2 years, thanks to a program that let inmates out early. This lenient sentence gave Alcala the chance to continue his crimes, showing how the justice system sometimes fails to protect society from dangerous individuals. In 1979, Alcala's path crossed with 12-year-old Robin Samso at Huntington Beach, where he tried to lure her and her friend Bridget Wilver. Bridget's quick thinking and a neighbor's timely intervention made Alcala run off. Sadly, this was the last time Bridget saw Robin alive. Robin's body was discovered 12 days later, far from the beach, confirming Alcala had killed her. The police got a break when they found Alcala's storage locker in Seattle. Inside were photos, including Robin's earrings, linking him directly to her murder. This evidence was crucial, but it also opened up a broader investigation. The locker contained items and photos that matched other missing women, revealing Alcala was responsible for several cold cases. His DNA matched with the unsolved murders of 4 women from the 1970s, showing that Robin's case was just the tip of the iceberg of Alcala's criminal history. In his final trial in 2010, Alcala decided to represent himself, which led to some very odd courtroom moments. He questioned himself in different voices, and, for his closing argument, chose to play the song Alice's Restaurant by Arlo Guthrie instead of making a traditional speech. This bizarre strategy didn't help him. He was convicted on all counts of first-degree murder for the killings of Robin Samso and 4 other women. The DNA evidence was key in tying Alcala to these crimes, showing he was not just a one-time offender, but a serial killer. He was sentenced to death not once, but 3 times, though legal appeals and retrials delayed the execution. After Alcala's conviction, authorities found over 1,000 photos in his storage locker, many of which were of women and children, some never identified. In 2013, police released around 120 of these images to the public in hopes of identifying the subjects. The public played a vital role here. Several women recognized themselves or their missing loved ones in these photos, adding names to the list of potential victims. However, many remain unidentified, suggesting that Alcala's body count might be higher than officially known. The investigation continues, with law enforcement in California and New York still seeking information from anyone who might recognize someone in those haunting images. It's a collective effort to bring closure to families and perhaps uncover more about Alcala's dark legacy. Thanks so much for sticking with me through this dark and unsettling story of Rodney Alcala. Hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more true crime stories that need to be told.